Hey guys, it's me, Jane Bond again, and I want to welcome you back to another great episode. And I always say great because it's always good of Unpack Your Life. And today I'm here with Michele Philips. This is the woman they call the Light Lady, and we're going to find out all about why she's called the Light Lady by her clients. Michele, best-selling author, am I correct? One
Yes, thank you.
mastery coach.
Yes.
She's going to teach us all about being free and having the keys to unlock who we are. Right, Michelle?
Yes, yes,
Let's
that's what we
go.
all want. We all want
Yeah,
to shine. And
absolutely.
everyone has a light. And I always say some people's lights are so bright and you feel them, and some people are operating on candle power.
Oh,
But that light is with you from the minute you're born to the minute you die, but it's up to us to tend it.
that's
It's up
right.
to us to make sure it's shining its brightest. So, yeah, I work with my clients to just break down the barriers that are keeping them from shining so
Mhm.
that they can create new beliefs, new mindsets, new behaviors that I like to say energize their results. Like when you're getting good results, the energy is coursing through you and you're literally
Absolutely.
on fire.
And it's contagious,
Yeah, it's so
which I
fun.
love. Michelle, I love that they call you the light lady. I can see that you beam,
Thank
you're
you.
excited about life and what you do. I wanted to ask you, what made you come on Unpack Your Life?
Yeah. So many things. When I look at different people and I first of all, I went on your Instagram, and I watched some of your videos and you're just genuine. You see, I want genuine people in my life. I
Mhm.
want people around me that I aspire to be, that make me want to be better. And even when I read the questions that you posed before this interview, I thought, oh my God, this woman is going deep. We're not going to talk about the weather. We're going to
No,
get
we're not.
right to it. We're going to get right to it and talk about the heart of our issues. And we all have stuff to unpack, all
Oh,
of us.
absolutely, absolutely. It's so funny when you mentioned the questions because, of course, I read them, but those aren't the questions that I ask, which
Yeah,
that's the little trickery there because it gives me a chance to kind of feel you and see where you came from and how you came to the decisions to be in the space you're in now, which I think is amazing because we
thank
all
you.
need that, especially from women. And we were talking earlier before we started recording how you stated that a lot of people think women don't get along and don't like each other. Well, so, a little bit of that could look and seem true because we don't know each other. And by first sight, there's always a judgment call, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's just who we are. We're women. We're looking. We're like, how do they say it? Casing you,
Yeah.
sizing you up, and trying to figure out if you're someone we want to engage with instead of engaging first and then sizing up.
Yeah.
And
And
then,
that's such a good years ago this is, I mean, literally in college, I remember walking into a college classroom and seeing this gorgeous blonde, like Farrah Fawcett days, like just big, beautiful blonde hair. I mean, she wasn't a big woman, she was beautiful hair. And I thought, oh, look at her. She's gorgeous. And what I've learned to do is I force myself to walk over to the person that intimidates
Mhm.
me. I walked over, we started talking. She's one of my best friends right now to
Oh
this
my
day.
God.
And she's nice. She's
Yes,
fabulous. Right.
most
But
of the
that
time.
that initial judgment was my ego or my jealousy or my insecurity
Mhm.
that caused me to go,
Projecting.
oh, look at this beautiful woman. And then I'm like, oh, she's beautifully nice inside too. And, we've created this beautiful relationship. So I always, some people doesn't work with everyone. Sometimes someone gives you like a weird vibe
Oh,
and you walk
trust
over and
me.
it's not the
I
right
know.
person. But
Mhm.
I don't want to judge the book by its cover.
Fantastic. And that's true. You shouldn't judge the book by its cover because you never know what's inside the book.
Yeah.
That's the beauty. That's the secret, opening the book, right? And then finding out it's everything that you would love or like it to be. And
Yes.
then look at you. You guys became good friends. That's amazing. And I was telling you, I had a young lady come over to me one time and say, "Oh my God, I love you. I thought you were so unapproachable." I said, "Me? Unapproachable?" Okay, I get it. Like I told you, 5'11", big hair, 6'4" with heels.
Yeah.
But nothing about me, to me, says unapproachable.
Yeah.
I am the most giving, open person. I want to know everybody. I want to know what's going on with you. I want to hang out with you.
So that's
And
the women are missing out that don't kind of get to know each other. And
Right.
two women in the last 6 months have said to me, I don't have a lot of girlfriends. I have guy friends. I'm like, you're missing out. You
Oh,
know,
that's neat.
yeah, I love my guy friends, but sometimes when I have just dinner with my girlfriends, which I'm having tonight, those are the
Oh,
best
fantastic. Yeah.
conversations
That's when
because
you
we,
spill the tea.
yeah, I love it. You spill the tea. Yes.
Yeah, that's when you get it out, and you have to trust each other because everybody has trauma. Everybody's
Yeah.
trauma is different. But who do you trust with that trauma? Who do you trust to break it down for you and say, no, girl, that's the wrong way? You have to have those girlfriends. And that's what I was saying to you. That's why I created Unpack Your Life. One,
Uh,
I wanted to find my Sex in the City girlfriends.
I love it.
Where
Yes.
are they? I said, and I thought, well, maybe I'll find them here because I'm an authentic person. So that is my next question to you, Michelle. What does authenticity mean to you?
Oh, gosh, it's what I work on my whole life. And now I had to define it. I don't know. But it's really being true to yourself.
Hmm.
I'm loud, I'm outgoing, I'm just a ham. And when I was younger, I was told, you talk too much, you talk too loud. Oh my God, Michelle, stop talking. And then I got a career. I'm like, I talk for a living now. Ha ha. I get
Okay.
paid. I get paid for this. But it's really embracing your quirks, your likes and dislikes. There's no, like, why does someone like chocolate and someone likes vanilla? It doesn't matter. Right.
Right.
So really embracing that we all have likes and dislikes and they're unique to us. And the more we could be in our uniqueness, the more we allow, it's the Mandela quote, right? The more I shine, the
Right.
more I allow others to shine. And I was walking with a neighbor this morning. We went for a walk and she just took one of those assessments and she's like, wow, I'm really digging into this assessment. I'm feeling powerful. The assessment, I told her, didn't tell you anything you didn't know, but you're now owning it. You're like,
Wow.
yeah, I am this. And let me
Yes,
let me dig into this a little deeper. Let me let this shine a little brighter. And that's
absolutely.
what's so beautiful in people when you're able to just let your quirkiness or authenticity show.
Mhm.
People, we all, just are attracted to that.
Oh, 100%. When I was reading the answers to your questions, I was like, oh my God, this sounds like my life. I did. I said, this sounds like my life, waking up one day not understanding
Mm,
where that sickness was coming from and being what, everything society says we're supposed to be, and I mean, I can't tell you how many times people would come up to me and go, do you play basketball? And I would go, no, I play volleyball. And that's the reason I didn't play basketball
I'm
because
going to give you a fun one.
right? So,
Yes, I'm going to give it. One of my tall friends says, why? Because I'm tall, people ask me to get stuff off the top shelf. She goes, I don't ask you to pick stuff off the floor because you're short.
oh my
So
God, this is true, right?
I
Right?
always love that. Yeah.
But it's so funny, and I think men take that for granted too, because I used to be a flight attendant, and men would get on with these heavy luggage, and be like, "Could you help me put this up there?" And I would think,
Mm,
what do I look like to you?
right.
Your muscles are much
Uh,
bigger than mine, guy. I can,
yeah.
yeah, let's do this together.
Together.
Ugh, that was a mess too. But it's an interesting thing talking about friendship and women in general, trying to, build a community together and support one another. It's not always easy, and I, like you said, your girlfriend said, I don't, a friend of yours said, I don't have any girlfriends. And I used to get really upset with myself and kind of sad and say, why don't I have any girlfriends? Why don't I have a lot of girlfriends? Is that not my community? What's going on with me? And I had to look inside and say, no, it's not you. It's the strength. It's what you put out there, what you project. Those women will come into your circle. They're just not ready. You just haven't found them yet. So I have to walk in a certain light and they will come. It's like you build it and they will come. And I said, well, maybe Jane, it's what you project, You're kind of quiet when you're around people. If someone asks you, you're very supportive and you're always giving. Maybe that intimidates people. Maybe you should listen more. So I started to listen more. So I started to write
Mm.
more. So Unpack Your Life came out of all of that, saying, okay, I need to find that group of women that understand who I
Well, you found me already, so tell me how else it's going.
am. It's going good. I told you, hey, you're the light lady. I'm feeling it, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's an interesting thing being out here and being a woman and starting your life over. It's terrifying and pretty traumatic. And I read where, same time, 2008, the world was
Yeah.
falling apart, and you said you found yourself sleeping on a friend's couch and crashed your car, and I'm like, "Oh my god," all of those things sound so
Yeah.
familiar to me because 2008 was a very scary time. Well, I'm not gonna say now is a very scary
Right.
time, but
Yeah.
2008 was a very scary time for, especially professional women that are going through a decision process of changing their lives and starting over, and I think it's very scary, and finding a community of women that can support that, it's not always easy.
And I
So
think I'm answering your question before you ask it.
okay, go ahead.
Years ago, I'd gone to a seminar. I was working in corporate at the time, and the leader said, do the people you spend your time with lift you up or keep you down? And I honestly looked at my circle at the time, and I had really nice, sincere, hardworking people in my circle, but they weren't going anywhere. No
Wow.
offense to them, right? They
I
were
get
like
it.
living their life, doing their job. My husband at the time, and my first husband, and I went out to dinner with this couple every weekend. And I was like, oh my God, they were like doom and gloom, Murphy's Law, everything bad happened to them. And so I just made a conscious decision and I wrote it down. I wanted to be around people that were doing something, going someplace, and lifting others. And I remember writing it in my journal. And literally, the universe, God, whatever source, whatever you want to call it, I'm starting to meet women that are working 3 cube rows down from me at this corporation that were always there. So
Wow.
I've literally changed my entire circle of people, and I love my people I grew up with, but I was growing in a very different direction, and I've created a different group of friends because of the direction I was growing. Now, the caveat to that is 6 years ago, I moved. My husband got a great opportunity. So we moved out towards the Hamptons. And
Mhm.
you want to talk about feeling like I was in seventh grade again. Now, here I am.
Oh.
I don't know anybody. I want to make friends. And I'm like asking everybody to lunch. You want to go to lunch? You want to go to lunch?
Mhm.
Some women reciprocated, some didn't. Some women that I thought I would be friends with didn't turn out. But
Oh,
what I
I've been there.
realized is it's not on them. They already had their group of friends. They weren't
Mhm.
looking for new friends. I was.
Right.
When I finally found my group of friends out here, oh my gosh, I have like the most amazing group of like creative, fabulous people. But it just took me longer than I thought because I'm so outgoing. And of course, I think I'm
Mhm.
fabulous. But
I
um,
love it.
the women I was meeting, they weren't looking for new friends. That's not bad.
Right.
It just is. They already had their group of people. They were
Yeah.
tight, and but I did find my people finally. So it's this constant reinvention of ourselves, refiguring it out, and knowing that they are out there. I think that's the biggest thing. Knowing that good, fabulous women are out there and they want to connect too.
Yeah, I get that. A few years ago, when I was down in my deep dark hole, and that was right before the pandemic, I realized, oh my God, I am so unhappy. Next thing I know, the pandemic happened. 4 or 5 years in, I can't go anywhere because nobody wants you to come near them because people are
Right.
dying, people are scared to death. And here it is, I'm at a point in my life that I need to explode and I have to implode.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I got sick. I had pains, and I'm a very healthy person. I'm someone that has worked out all her life. All of a sudden, I was sick. All of a sudden, I was having physical ailments that I didn't know what was happening. I went to the doctor. No, you're fine. Your blood work is this, that. And I said, oh my God,
Mm.
I am physically sick from being sick of what I'm supposed to be doing. I got to get out of this. How can I get out of it? I know when I blow this house up, it's not going to just be about me. It's going to be about all the people that are around
Yeah.
me and all the people that have been with me. So, how do you go about doing this? Scared to death. I just did it. I blew the house up, burnt the house down, could not think about anything else because I was in survival mode. Because the one thing society glorifies is that success is supposed to be about this. And it's the biggest lie you will ever
Yeah.
hear in your life. And then when you realize it's a lie, you're scared to death of what you created.
And
Because
it
now,
doesn't unravel, it doesn't unravel that easily, right? But I always tell people they're in those bad spots. I'm like, just start the process right now. It's going to get ugly. It's going to get worse. You're not going to be happy. But once you start going through it, you eventually get to the other side. But so
Yes.
many people stay frozen in the fear of going forward that they waste years. And I did the same thing.
Yeah.
That's a great question. I used to ask people in marriages, like, from the time you started being unhappy to the time you actually left, how many years went by?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Because it's not like you realize I don't want this. Then you go, okay, I'm out. No, you wait I waited 5 years before I
It's
actually had the
guilt.
guts to say, yeah, this isn't working anymore.
It's guilt. It's terrifying. It's an emotional battlefield. Like, how do you do that? What do you do? Who do you talk to? You talk to your family. Oh no, you're wrong. You have to give it a try. Love is about working on things, supporting one another. Very traditional. It doesn't work in this world. So the unfortunate part is, like I said, when you do come to that point, you have to really unpack. And I think we should all unpack more frequently because, what society dictates to us, and I'm speaking about women, this is about
Yeah.
women, is wrong. Because we follow it, we follow it, we follow it, and then we find out that's not really the yellow brick road we want to go down. And then we start thinking there's no place like home, right? But where's home?
We're always
Where's
being marketed to. So, the industries are just built on keeping us young, keeping us beautiful forever, and it's just the diet industry, the whole thing. So, one of my dear colleagues used to say, I want to just look good for my age. I'm like, I love that.
I love
I
that.
don't need to look younger. I just want to look good for my age. And I'm going to do what I want to do and what's comfortable for me. So it's really, I saw Jane Fonda once in an interview and she said, I wish I had the confidence to just be me and stay and not do all the work. I mean, she looks
Wow.
amazing,
Of
but
course.
that quote says a lot,
Yes.
she's like, I didn't have the confidence to just let me, age naturally. So, I'm not judging anyone, whatever anyone does. But it's working on the inside as well as the outside. If you want to do something that makes you feel beautiful on the outside, that's great. But most people aren't doing enough work on the inside. So
You're
that's
absolutely right.
where I want people to look at their mental, physical, spiritual, emotional habits. What are the things you're doing on a daily basis? How you think is a habit. And most people are thinking everything's getting worse. I'm getting older. Nothing's getting good. And it's like, well, that's a habitual thought pattern and you could change that. So we have so much more control over where we focus our thoughts. And I think about some older people that might be all wrinkly and that, but then they smile and they just light up the room
Yes.
because, we all have those people in our lives and it's their energy that's shining. It's their eyes. I have a friend that's now she's
100%.
101, but I remember her when she was in her 80s,
Wow.
this little woman, but she just had this light. Every time I saw her, I took a picture of her every time we were together and the picture never captured her energy. I said, oh my God, you are glowing and beautiful. And on her 98th birthday, she put on like some fancy like designer gown. And she's like, what did she say? I am 98, reversed. She goes, so, and she just owned her sexuality, her beauty. I mean, she was 98 years old. And I always say, oh
Wow.
my God, she's doing it. And every time I would call her on the phone, she would say, Michelle, she's from the Czech Republic. Did you see the moon last night? The moon was shining so bright in the sky. And I'm like, oh my God, she is focusing her energy on what's beautiful, what's good in the world. And she's steering away from and it shows in her, her life. It shows in her
Oh, I
face.
love it. I love it. I love it. And it's so funny you say that because I'm watching, like, when I'm scrolling, of course, I see women that are 80 and 90, and they're owning it. They're talking about, okay, it's okay to get bored, and get old, but don't get boring. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, don't get boring. Because nobody wants boring. Nobody wants to talk about, I mean, age is something that you grow into. And even as we get older, I mean, I see things. It's so funny. I made a video this morning and I was talking about being in the raw because all of a sudden I'm having dark spots on my
Oh,
face.
me too. Let's
Yes,
talk.
yes, yes. Someone told me, Jane, that is what we call hyper pigmentation. And I went,
Mm.
is that because I'm getting old? And they were like, well, it's age spots. I'm like, holy shit, how can I get rid of it? And they're like, well, they were telling me on that. I was like, oh my God, I need to get online and go in the raw with no makeup and tell
Uh,
people. What
It's
is
you're, it's so funny because as much as I talk this game, I used to make videos in the morning all the time. When I woke up, I'm like, I don't look looking so great when I wake up in the morning
right?
anymore. But it's okay. I think the
It is
thing is to stay in the game and like you're doing.
mhm.
What I see in corporations sometimes, which bothers me, is sometimes women opt out. So they just assume that if they're over a certain age, I do training workshops in corporations, and I was setting up this suite of classes, and the woman said to me, "What about women over 50, over 55? Should they come?" And I said, "Well, are they planning on retiring anytime soon?" "No." "Well, then they should come." Right?
Exactly.
It's like
Yeah,
unless they're leaving the business, if they're planning to keep contributing, they should come. But we kind of, society tells us, it's for the young people and you should. And I'm like,
yes.
no, no, I'm opting in. I'm opting
Yeah.
in. I'm staying in, and I'm staying relevant. So I think
I'll be
more
young till
women,
I'm 100.
yes, you will. It's making that decision that, it's never
Mhm.
too late. You're not too old. And, let's keep going, right? Let's keep having fun and let's keep, I saw one of my favorite authors this weekend. She's got to be in her 70s. I don't know, but I love her. I'm still following her. She's not glamorous, but she's wise and she says the
Oh,
most amazing things. So that's what I want. That's what I aspire to. And that's what I think, Unpack Your Life is about. It's,
absolutely.
constantly looking at where are you and do you still want to be carrying this stuff around in your suitcase or do you want to leave that
A
behind
lot of
and
baggage.
make some room for some new ways of looking at things? And that's the key
Absolutely.
to everything I love.
No, I'm with you on that because, aging is not pretty, but you can make it pretty. You can make it pretty. It just depends on, your outlook on things. Like you said, this woman that's 100. Oh my God, I hope I only aspire to get there, right?
And I have another group of friends that they're skiing until their 80s and I'm thinking,
Oh
"Oh
my
my god,
God.
these are amazing." So I get around these people and then when you start looking for them, they're everywhere.
Absolutely.
But some women or some people, let's just put, generally it's so easy to get into a group and start, oh, we just go down the rabbit hole. There's a great Sex in the
Yes.
City. I
Yes.
don't like my nose. I don't like this. I don't like, they're all talking and they look at Samantha and she's like, what? I like myself. you know,
Yes. I
but
love Samantha,
we're
right?
so good at pointing out what we don't like. And
Mhm.
myself included, I do it, so it's like, okay,
Hey, I don't
Michelle,
like my age spots. Look.
right. But I like my eyes and I, have
Right.
beautiful lips. And so
Yes.
it's constantly changing that inner dialogue for me and not going down. So I always say every thought is an electromagnetic unit of energy that gathers another thought just like it. So
Okay.
that's how we can start spiraling. So it's, one bad thought leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. But if I catch that bad thought early and say, oh, I don't like that thought, give me a better thought,
Yes.
right? You're
Hmm.
able to build yourself up. And when for a while my back was starting to hurt, and I'm like, oh, that must happen when you get older. And then one day I said, oh no, Michelle, I'm not taking this. So I
That's right.
started doing different exercises, going to different body workers, and I have never felt so much better than I have in the last 6 years. But the body follows the mind.
Yes, it does.
So it's really getting your. I love the term mastermind is someone who's mastered their mind.
That's right. And the people don't look at that. They think of it as just a group of people that are talking about things that mean something.
Yeah. Which
But
is it's that too. Yeah,
yeah, it
but
is that. But
yeah.
what you just said, it masters the mind. And when you're out there and you're moving around and you're with different people, like you said, they will take you down that rabbit hole. You have to find that group that will keep you up and keep your light shining with you. And that I always tell people it takes a lot of people to make one person successful.
Yes.
And everybody,
During
you don't get there by yourself.
my divorce and the sadness, I was so lonely. I hadn't, I met him in my 20s. I left him in my 40s. And then it was like, oh my God, I forgot what it felt like to be that lonely. But the group of women and men too that I had around me, I used to tease. I'd say, I'm coming to your house to cry on Friday, and I'm coming to yours on Saturday. I'm coming to yours on Sunday, because I didn't want to wear out one person. But they would say to me, Michelle, you have given us so much. We are here for you. And
Hmm.
it's realizing that I do need more than one. It does take a village.
Yes.
These people, and that's what prompted my first book, Happiness is a Habit,
Oh,
was
I love it.
when I fell down so bad into the hole, I realized the thing keeping me sane were the people I had a great support system and family and friends, the music I was listening to,
Oh, I love that.
the books I was reading, my
Hmm.
habits. So just because one part of my life was falling apart didn't mean I had to stop working out or eating right or seeing my good friends or listening to good. I made a playlist called "Stay Strong, Girl," and it was everything from Helen Reddy to India RA. I had like to
I
Alicia
understand.
Keys.
And let me tell you, Miley Cyrus got me going.
Yep. Oh my
Miley
God. Yeah.
Cyrus, ooh, that's what took me out the house. I was like, okay, I can do this. I would be dancing around in the
Yeah.
bathroom saying, I'm going to do this. I can get this done. And it is about the music you listen to also and the people you're around. Let me ask you, what's a truth about yourself that you spent years avoiding? And how did you face it and change everything?
I've spent years fighting my. There's so let's say me. How me back it up. I'm a natural ham, but then I'm also was told, Michelle, you're too loud. You talk too fast. You talk too much. Sit down. Stop being so energetic. Go be over in the corner. Don't be
Oh, you're the
seen. You
friend
know.
I'm looking for.
Yeah. So it was like I would go from this stuff, this energy that wanted to come out of me and just play and dance and sing to going, oh, I got to be humble. So
Ugh,
I waffle between humble confidence and then I didn't want to be arrogant, so then I would go back to humble. So I felt like I just never let myself bloom. And I
yeah.
heard a great quote recently. It said, it's okay to be a late bloomer, just don't be late to the flower show. And I said,
Oh,
oh my God, because I think back, gosh, could I have done this when I was younger? I didn't have the confidence. I was so busy playing small. I didn't want to be too loud. I didn't want to be too
safe.
much. I didn't want to be too confident or too that I didn't, I took a middle seat where I should have been the star. I love the stage. I love the limelight, but I couldn't say that out loud and not feel
Yes,
like
you
I
can.
can now, but I couldn't
We
say it
have
then without feeling like, am I being too arrogant? I don't want to hog up all the air in the room kind of thing. But so that's the thing that if I would have said to my younger self, there's enough for all the stars in the sky.
it
That's what I
sure is.
that's
And the
what I say
sky's
now.
big. Wow, that is
Yeah.
so powerful. Let me tell you, that is so true because oftentimes, and I'm not, hell, I don't give a shit. I'm not going to say this. Vanity, let's throw that out the window. Oftentimes, when I walk in a room, I can feel the air change.
Yeah.
And I say to myself, is it me? I mean, am I bringing something in the room,
Yes.
differently? I mean, and then I'm looking around trying to figure out, do they like me? Is that it? And then I'll be sitting by myself thinking, and I'll catch people side eyeing me, giving me the side eye, looking me up and down. And I'm thinking, okay, say something, Jane, because you know exactly what it is, but you're not going to say anything because you don't want them to feel bad. And that's so wrong because that is not who I
Yeah.
am. I
We
can't
downplay ourselves.
Yeah, I can't help that I'm 5'11", and whatever you think I may look like in your eyes, that's fine. It's like the blonde you saw.
Yeah.
I can't help that. I can't change that. That's a condition. That's a condition I
Exactly.
can't change. Thank you for my parents, but I don't want to feel I don't want to feel made to feel bad about those things about me. And when I think about them, I say to myself, no, open your mouth, be who you are, speak your piece, and don't worry about what they think.
And then it
Because,
melts it away. It melts when you walk over to someone, introduce yourself, it all melts away and you think, what was I worried about in the first place? So
yes,
I think that's the biggest thing is for us to, push out through that discomfort and
mhm,
walk over to someone we don't know, especially in a public setting or an event. I always look for someone who's by themselves because they're looking for someone to talk to just like I am.
that's true.
So find the
That's true.
person. One of my colleagues does this. She looks for someone with the same color, which I thought this is a great trick. And then she goes, "Oh, you got the memo. Like
Ah!
we're both wearing red today," or
Yes.
And I thought, what a great icebreaker. But it's
Mhm.
finding what's the icebreaker for you that you could walk over to someone and just say hello to a stranger, and then everything melts away. All those
It does.
preconceived notions. Yeah.
Until the next person comes in the room and feels the same way. And then you're like back to
but
square one.
but it is, once you get that consistency going, you start to attract good events. So this past weekend, I went to Santa Fe, and when I went with another girlfriend, and we got to the hotel, and it wasn't exactly what we thought on the internet. It looked better on the internet, so we were like, oh, but it was nice. Don't get me wrong, it was nice.
Yes.
So the next day, we tried to get massages in this hotel and they were booked. So the next day we went into town and we pulled up in a parking spot in front of this beautiful hotel. I said, it says spa on the sign. Let's go in. So we walk in. Do you have any massages? Oh, we have two at 4:30. Oh, perfect. We have the 4:30 massage. The hotel is gorgeous. So we end up having
Mm,
drinks
mm.
and dinner like in front of the fireplace at this beautiful hotel. We go back to our hotel. The next night, my girlfriend says, "Ooh, there's a Four Seasons around the corner. You want to go there for dinner? Let's go there for dinner."
Yeah,
So
why not?
again, we pull in and there's this beautiful fire pit outside, the sun's setting. We're having a cocktail. The service is over the top. And my girlfriend looks at me and she goes, "We got the experience we wanted without paying for it." And I'm
Oh,
like, "Oh, we didn't stay at the bigger hotels, but we
right.
still enjoyed everything they had to offer." And
Yes.
I was laughing. So I was writing a Facebook post. I'm like, what did I say in the Facebook post? I said, everywhere we went, we met fun and interesting people. Or are we fun and interesting? And everywhere we went, things worked out. Or does like attract like? So,
Mhm.
you start to ping, there's still curmudgeons and grumpy people out there, but they don't come into your sphere very often, or they just kind of float away because they're repelled by the positive energy or whatever it is. And then
Yeah,
you attract all the
yeah.
positive ones. And it just becomes so, like, I love the word delightful, delicious. And that's what I want to teach people. Like, that's that power we all have.
Chocolate cake, decadent. Yes. I love
Yes.
that.
We
Yeah.
all have that in our genuine beauty. We all have this beautiful effervescence. I don't know,
I
love.
love when I see women out, even if I'm by myself sometimes, because I do dinner by myself sometimes, and I love that because then I'm kind of introspecting. But when I see women and all of a sudden I'm sitting there, I'm having dinner and I'm watching, they're quiet, they're having a little chitter chatter, and then all of a sudden, you hear them
Yeah.
screaming, laughing. I'm like, okay, the drinks are flowing. I want to be over there with them. So I keep looking. And one time I did. Next thing I know, one girl said to me, come on over.
Yeah.
And I went over and I was like, you guys have made my night. I am totally wasted. I'm going home, but I will never forget you girls. I never really spoke
Yeah.
to any of them again because they were, a couple of them were from Italy. One girl was from France and one girl was from New Haven. And I was in Florida, but I was
Yeah.
just, wow, I would love to hang out with these chicks. They were just like blown away and having fun. And they said to me, they said, well, we don't have husbands. That's why we look so good.
Uh, well, what you're waking up in me is what you see in that. I always say to people, what you see in others is in you. You couldn't
Yes.
see the beauty in them if it wasn't in us or in you. So yeah, it's just about, and there is the statistics about proximity, and you have to keep
Absolutely.
relationships alive, and you have to keep calling people. And I moved 6 years ago, but I'm constantly texting. We have our positivity posse text. I have a village, another group text. We call ourselves the village, but it's constantly putting out any connection you can, because I don't see these women as much anymore, but I still love them dearly. And then making the effort, making the effort
Absolutely.
to see each other whenever we can, because I always, my one girlfriend, she says to me, "Oh, this relationship's like air to me." And I'm like, "It is. It's like air. Like, we just
Yeah,
need each other." And
you
that
do.
recognition is beautiful.
It's so true. We do need each other because, we want to keep smiling. Who wants to walk around gloom and doom, And you're right. People that um, you go out with and you hang out with. I mean, I was one of those people. Not me, definitely not me. Some people were, chased away
Yeah.
because it just wasn't a good feeling when they were around us. And I was thinking myself, is it me or is it us? And I
Yeah.
went, it's us. It's not me. And you know it, Jane. What's one thing that women don't talk about enough?
Menopause? No. um,
Yeah, that too, especially at our
um,
age.
oh, that's the one thing that on my mind lately. What's the one thing women don't talk about?
That you wish they would.
I just wish, it's interesting because I have a lot of strong women friends. So I think sometimes when you're a strong woman, it's hard to be vulnerable. So and I have the people I could be vulnerable with, and I think I think we could all do a better job of when we really need a friend. A lot of times, what happens with friends or myself, you'll hear from a friend, "Oh, I was in a really dark place last week, but now I'm better." I'm like, "Oh, why didn't you call me when you're in the dark place?" "Oh, I didn't want
Yes,
to bother you." I'm like, "No, no, that's when we need to reach out to
that's
each
when we
other,
need to reach
because
out.
we all get in that dark place. We all, I remember one day, clear as day, I was driving down the West Side Highway, and I don't even know what I was in a bad mood. I was just sad and I was just feeling all bad about myself. And I called a friend and I said, I need you to pick me up. Tell me how great I am. I feel like crap. And they said to me, oh my God, Michelle, you are the candle in the Easter vigil. That one candle lights all the other candles. And I just remember they went on and I'm in the car crying. And I
Oh,
just
I've been
needed,
there.
I needed to hear those words and I needed to have the guts to ask someone to tell me because I couldn't tell myself. So I think that's the one thing I wish women did more is like when you're needing the uplift. Now again, it's different. Don't bring me down in the hole with you because
Oh my
I'm not
God, I
getting in the mud
lost
with
you.
you. Because if you're in a dark place,
You're frozen.
I'll help you come up, but I'm not going to, go play in the mud with you because then we're both miserable. So that's the difference.
Oh, yeah. No, but you're right. That's really a good answer. We do need that because sometimes we don't want to be as vulnerable in front of those friends, but you're right. That's when we should be vulnerable. We should be able to open up and say what we need to say and get some good, advice from them, especially if they're in a place that, you're headed towards or you've been there and all of a sudden it's not good anymore.
One of my friends, I was complaining about something, and she went to me, Michelle, stuff like this is normal. Like some simple little thing like pulls you out of your own muck because we get into
Yeah.
our, and I'm like, you're right, it is normal. I'm like, why am I
Or we're
making
too
such,
hard on
yeah,
ourselves.
why am I making such a big deal of this? So
Right.
I think we do need those like those mirrors and those, and again, the friend that's going to help you out of the
It's
hole, not
happening
get in the hole
again.
with you, because now we're both just complaining and both miserable.
What's one of the hardest things, Michelle, you ever had to unlearn to become who you are today?
Oh my gosh, what I had to unlearn so many things that I don't
Oh,
control
let's hear it.
others. Yeah, the biggest thing for me is that if I want to be happy and healthy, I only have control over me. I can't save everybody else, and that's really hard because when you have family members or friends or people that are suffering and you really want to help them, sometimes my wanting to help people has sometimes made me like a punching bag in people's lives because I'm like, oh, tell me your problems. I'll listen. But then I'm like, oh my God, I can't. At some point, you have to help yourself. So I think that was the one thing I really had to unlearn that it's not my job to save you. I could help you. I could give you tools. I can listen. I could support. But at the end of the day, you have to do it on your own.
Right.
And, knowing that, there's people in my life and my family that, are struggling. But
Yeah.
again, I have to let you be. And if that's that's your journey. That's what I say.
Yes.
That's their journey. And I'm
Yes.
on my journey. So that was probably one of the hardest things because I just wanted to help everybody. And, I love when you learn this, you want to share it with everybody.
Absolutely, because you can't save everybody. You can only try and help them somewhat, but just like my dad used to say, I can only lead you to the well, honey.
Yeah.
What are you going to do once you get there? Because you're dying of thirst. So figure it out. So I get that so well. And since I've been back here, in the north, so many people I've run into, they want you to save them. And I'm too busy saving Jane.
Yeah.
That's-
And the
I'm
other
too,
thing that you're
yeah,
triggering is, I'm
yeah,
on my second marriage. So
okay.
when I, with my second husband, started hearing myself saying the same things I was saying with my first husband, I was like, oh my gosh, it wasn't him, it's me. This is my baggage. This is what I need to unpack. So when
Wow.
words were coming out of my mouth and I'm like, this is a totally different man, Michelle. And you're saying the same stuff. So this is your stuff. So really looking, what's the saying? If there's anything in your life that you want that you don't have, you're holding a belief that's keeping you from it. So what is that? What's stopping me from getting what I want? What's a belief I have about myself or about this marriage that's keeping me from getting what I want? And the beauty of beliefs, the dictionary's definition is a belief is something you agreed is true. You could change a
Mhm.
belief.
And
So
you
it's,
you
yeah,
constantly keep it in your head, so of course,
yeah.
and every time something triggers that, that belief comes back into play, you
So if
know.
it's not serving you, you get to change it. It's just something you decided was true. So you can
Yeah,
change it to
you
something
rewrite
that,
those chapters.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's a lot of baggage to carry around, and it's hard to unlearn something, when you're conditioned, from what they say,
yeah.
and we always ask, "Well, who's they? Who are they? Who are you talking about? What people?" Because
And
they're imagined.
I don't have it in arm's distance, but oh, it's over there. I have an easy button that I give all my clients too, because I want you to make this as easy as possible, right? We always say it's hard, it's hard. I'm like, no, make it easy. What's the simplest, easiest thing you can do? Let's do that.
Yes, yes, yes. What is one of the boldest decisions you ever made that completely changed your trajectory of your
Oh
life?
my God. This
Besides
career.
the divorce.
Yeah,
Besides the
no.
divorce.
In the early, oh gosh, in the late 90s, early 2000s, I decided I wanted to, I was doing training workshops at Verizon Wireless. I was doing all the sales training, and I decided I wanted to start my own business. So I went back to school. I got my master's at Fordham. While I was in the class, another colleague, a woman, she saw me give a presentation called Leading with a Heart. And she said to me, I want you to give this presentation to my staff, my executives. So I went and did that. And I just jumped ship in 2000. I quit my job. I didn't know what I was doing. And I started this business, 25 years ago. It'll be 25 years in August. But the first year I sat in my office, again, there was no social media. There was no internet. There was, and I bought a book called Speak and Grow Rich by Dottie Walters. And it said, buy a fax machine. So I bought a fax machine. Make a one sheet. So I made a one sheet. And this is a funny story. It said, start giving your speeches. So I got the phone book. It was American Cancer Society. I said, hi, I'm Michele Philips. I have a presentation. And the woman goes to me, do you have cancer? And I said, no, we don't want you. And she's like, so then I went to the ambulance corps. I don't know. I just literally got the yellow pages out and I started calling people and saying, do you want to hear my talk? Do you want to hear my talk? So,
Really?
yes.
I love it. You're bold. That's a good move, though. You were
Oh,
unpacking everything. You said, "The
oh
hell
my
with this. I'm
gosh.
unpacking it all." It's a funny. I can tell you a funny story. When I started in this business, I'm a real estate agent and broker, of course,
Yeah.
now. But years ago, I was an entertainment manager, and I had some really nice names. I wouldn't say big, but now I look, they are big.
Yeah.
And I remember when I first started that business, I was sitting in my office and I was like, my God, you quit your job and you're having this business now. Is the phone working? It's
Yeah,
not ringing.
exactly.
I would literally pick the phone up and wonder if
Is
it
there
was
a dial
working,
tone? Yeah.
ringing. And I said to myself, well, that means, girl, you got to make the phone ring. So how are you going to do that? And I'll never forget, we put an all call out for, talent. Went to the movies, and this is in the very beginning of the internet, like
Yeah.
2001, 2002. And my computer was this huge thing,
Yeah.
sitting on the desk. I lived in a little apartment at 38 Downing Street here in New York City. And my friend and I, we went to the movies, and I said, you know what? When we get back, I hope we have somebody that answered, the call. When we came back, we literally opened up the computer, turned it on, and it was thousands.
Oh my God. That's
Hundreds.
magic.
Oh, it was unbelievable. Thousands of people had sent us emails. You just didn't realize how much people needed help and wanted to be a part of entertainment. The next day, the mailman comes and he's like Santa Claus. We have a bag
Oh
of
my gosh.
videos and CDs and envelopes of people. Oh, I was like, oh my God.
Divine timing. Ready for an opportunity.
Well,
Yeah,
and
that's
it started happening. And I remember, I say maybe a year into the business, we were sending out 100 headshots a week.
wow.
I had three assistants, and we were just pounding, pounding, pounding. And then 2008 happened. But we had a good run.
Yeah, well, that's, I think I love the quote. I say it off, I made it up. It's follow the energy, right?
Yes,
So everything has its day and follow the energy and what's coming next. And just knowing that there's always more energy. There's a great quote too. I love the thought of, like, I live in New York also. So when
yes,
I'm driving home from the airport, there's always the planes that are going over my head. Like, there's always another plane. So if I don't
yes.
get on that one, there's another one, and there's
There's
another one,
another
and
one
there's
coming.
so I
There's
always
another.
use that metaphor. Like, there's always another plane. Like, if this doesn't work out, I'll get the next one.
That's why I came back to New York. I needed the
Yeah,
energy of the city to keep
yeah.
me moving because where I was in Naples, Florida. I was sitting flat and I
Hmm.
couldn't understand why the energy wasn't coming. And I said, you know what? I'm going back where it started. I'm going back to New York City. And I packed up and came to New York City.
And that you did something. So a lot of people, like I said, they get in a career or a job that they don't like, and then they stay there 30 years. No,
Oh,
no. I'm like, my favorite Jim Rohn quote is, "You're not a tree. You can move." Right?
that's
You
right.
did it. Like you said, I'm moving. If I'm not, I'm going to go someplace else. I want new energy. I want new, and it's there's no such thing as failure. You might like it. Instead, you might say, I don't like it. I'm going someplace else. It doesn't matter. It's all good. You're doing something.
Oh, I came out and said, listen, I laughed, I loved, I failed. Yes, I said it out loud. I failed. And it was good to say it. And I just got on the camera, and I started talking. I said, you know what? I know people are, laughing about being on the internet and saying who you are and doing, but there's something about it that gives you this freedom of speaking your truth. And somebody's listening. And
There's a
that's
lot
all
of
it
people
is.
watching you. I was on your Instagram.
But the point is, there
Yeah.
there is something so, you know, just clear. And you just know there are people out there that need to hear it and need to know that they're going through what you've been through. But you're brave enough to get on and tell the world, listen, yes, I know you all see me one way, but this is who I really am. And this is what's really happening in my life. And even though I'm on the internet, I'm going to be very open and tell you, yes, because you all saw me selling these multi-million-dollar properties in Naples and you're trying to figure out how to do it and what to do. Trust me, it wasn't all what it was made out to be.
Hmm.
I had to
And that's very brave. That's very brave. And that's very confident, right?
yeah,
Vulnerability and confidence go together. And
absolutely.
that's
And my
beautiful.
business is unpacking, moving and
I
unpacking,
love
right?
it.
So
I
I
love
figured
it.
I'm going to unpack my life and I'm going to move to that next place where I could help other people. And if it's not in real estate, it'd be an understanding that it is okay to change your mind, to live up
That's
to
so
what you,
huge.
yeah, to live up to what you believe you should be out here doing. Because if you don't, regret is worse. Your action is what gets you moving. If you don't take action, you're going to be left behind. And
And
that
I'm
is,
listening to you. It's like living your life for you is the most important gift you give everybody else in your life.
that's right.
Not being selfish. And even the word selfish, I call it wise selfish because selfish means
There's
I'm
nothing wrong with
taking
being
care of me. I
selfish.
want to be around
Yeah,
people that take care of themselves.
that's right. It's nothing wrong with being selfish because you can't,
No,
like you said, you can't save everyone.
no,
And I don't think I'm being selfish when I say that. And a lot of people say,
no.
and you shouldn't feel that way. Yes, I should, because
Well,
I
I
have to
think the
feel
people
too.
that I'm cutting you off, sorry. I think the
That's
people
okay.
that say that don't understand the context in which you mean it.
Right.
And there's a deeper understanding of like, I'm not just taking from me and ignoring your needs. That's not what we're talking about.
No.
There's also a great example of like when a mother says to a child, don't be selfish. She's
Hmm.
saying to the child, don't do what you want, do what I want. So I laugh. I'm like, well, who's being selfish? Right. The
Right.
word is a very interesting word if we play
Right.
with
Right.
it. But
Right.
when I'm taking care of me and I'm not stepping on your needs and then we're both being very wise, selfish.
Absolutely. We are held up to this high, thing all the time, women. And we're often taught that we can have it all, and we can't. We can't. But you know, in a sense we can, and in a lot of senses we can't. But at what cost? What cost? And then you have to think, what's your breaking point, and how do you get back to the real you? How does that feel for you, Michelle?
Again, it's those societal expectations. I've really come to terms with there's a lot of things I want to do in this life that I'm not going to have time to do or I'm not going to get around to. So it's
No.
a reality that I've
Hmm.
accepted, but it's like, what do I want to do with the time I'm here? And I can't do everything, but I could do what's important.
Hmm.
So these are the two questions I have my clients ask a couple times a day. I want them to ask themselves, how am I feeling? And am I happy with my results? If there's so many people killing it out there, they got the big house, they got all the money, they got but they're not feeling good and they're not happy.
No.
So if in any hour of the day you go, I'm not feeling good, I'm not happy, it's like, okay, what can I do different? Not a big step, just a little step,
Right.
right? What can I, can I watch something that's going to motivate me? Can I phone a friend that's going to make me see things a different way? So
Hmm.
it's really, realizing that the key in life is to feel good. And the world is an unstable place and it's shaken big time. So I always say I can't control the world, I can't make the world stable, but I can make myself stable. I can work
Absolutely.
on my mental, physical, spiritual, emotional health, and I could, as a stable person, go live in an unstable world. I don't like it, the unstable world, but I there's so many people that are trying to fix everything before they could feel better, and then that's going to make
Yes,
you crazy. Versus the more you work on your inner, the more, that's where the trust. Then I trust. If I walk out the door right now and get hit by a bus, then that was my journey. But
that's
that
right.
trust in not being afraid, not, just worry, knowing that I'm in my good solid energy, and I'm going to take this good solid energy and change the air in the room, like you said.
Hmm.
And people that are not in a good place are going to repel it. They're not going to like that energy, but that's okay. I'll find that. I always say I'm looking for the believers. I'm looking for the ones that, want to be
Absolutely.
excited and go. And I want to play with those people. I want to, I'm coming to New York to see you. So just there's
I'm
a little
here.
side note.
I'm here all the time. Listen, and I love your energy, and you can be as loud as you want. Matter of fact, let's go and have drinks and be loud.
Exactly.
The thing about that being true to yourself and really wanting people to know that you're not this thing is not always easy, and I heard something that was so poignant the other day, and I thought, oh my God, I'm going to use this. And I forget it might have been Oprah, something she said, a quote.
Yeah.
It wasn't her, it was someone she had there, and they talked about energy and creativity being, if your energy and your creativity is benign, that's one thing, but it doesn't happen when it's malignant, because
Mm.
when it's malignant, it goes through your body and it just kills you.
Oh, that's powerful.
So that creativity, it can be one or two things. It could be benign and you stop it, you know, and it does what it needs to do, or you don't release it and it becomes internally malignant to you and it just kills you.
Oh, that's
And
so
I thought, oh
powerful.
God, when I heard that, I went, that was me. That was me. It was killing me inside. That's where the pains came from. I wasn't sick. All of a sudden, I needed a heating pad for underneath my heart. I need one for my
Yeah.
back. I couldn't go to sleep. I was waking up at 4 in the morning, sitting on the couch, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Waiting for the gym to open so I can go and work off the
Mm.
energy. And then I just thought, this is it. I went in my garage. I said, that's it. I haven't unpacked my life in 16 years.
Mm.
My life is still packed up. It's because it's time to go. And that's exactly what happened.
And that's what you did.
That's what I did. And I said, fuck it, I'm going to unpack my life. Take it or leave
And
it.
it's freeing the energy, right? Like it's like that energy is swirling in your body, swirling in your body. If you don't process it, it just gets the tidal wave gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's, you made so many good comments. As women, we spend so much time on our hair and our makeup and our, all the outside stuff.
Catastrophizing.
And I'm like, what are you spending? How much time are you spending, on that mental, physical, spiritual inside, your beliefs, your thoughts, your emotions, the books you're reading, those conversations. Books to me are the biggest changer, podcasts, anything that makes me feel, anything that inspires, motivates, or educates me. The more you get of that in your life, the better you feel, the better you handle everything.
Right.
So I love what you said about that energy. It's there anyway, and if you don't use it, it's going to eat at you versus help you create what you want. The malignant
Oh,
versus
when
the
I
being.
heard that, I
Yeah.
thought somebody hit me over the head with a hammer. And I went, oh my God, and that's what I mean about getting online and sharing, because you get so many gems, and if you take them and use them,
If you take them.
$1 million, right?
Yeah.
If you don't use them, then it's worth nothing to you. If you're just surfing, that's another thing. But when I'm surfing and I hear someone say something, I'm going right there, follow. I need to hear her again. I need to see what she's doing. I think it's very important to follow the people you want to emulate, and
Yes.
right? Because if you're just there, blurting out whatever you think that sounds smart, which usually isn't, and people like you and I pick it up and go, oh, well, you know
Yeah.
what she's talking about. But
Yeah.
the people that you do follow, and I love it's like a Mel Robbins. Oh,
Yeah.
just let it go. She's running it.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Wait, she's not the first one to say it though.
No,
That's the
I saw
interesting.
that when I Googled it.
You see it? Okay. So when she took it and ran with it, it's just so powerful because you don't think, let it go. You don't think about
Yeah.
that. Let them be, let them go, let them. And I said to myself, you know what? I need to use that more often. She is so, yeah,
if I turned the camera around right now, I got like a pile of let thems. I give them to all my clients. All my family has gotten one. You know, it's what I've been teaching for my whole life. And
Mhm.
I love how when Oprah interviewed her, she said, everything I've been teaching you articulated so well just in this book. She
No,
just articulates it so beautifully
and so
that
straight.
it's so digestible. So yeah, I've got copies that I'm handing them out like candy at this
It's
point
so in
because
your face.
yeah.
And I love that. I love that. And I love strong women. I just gravitate towards them because they always say things I need to hear, to make me feel good, make me feel better, to make me feel stronger, And I just, when I heard that, I went, wow, especially the woman that talked about, being benign and metastasizing your creativity. I went,
Mm.
that is so real, and you go to the point, oh my God, that shit is deep.
But that's
Right?
the beauty of and it gets deeper and deeper. And that's like the more you work on this stuff, there's always an awakening almost every day. And you're like, oh
Yeah.
my God, now that makes so much sense. Just recently, maybe a year ago, I got it at a deeper level, the saying, give them the benefit of the doubt, give them the benefit of the
Oh,
doubt.
yeah.
And then someone said, Michelle, when you give them the benefit of the doubt, you get the benefit. And I was like, oh, I'm like, that's deep. Right. I never thought of it that way. Like I've been saying this my whole life. And
Right.
now it's like, this is a gift for me. Like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
letting you off the hook a little bit, but I'm giving me the gift. So again, it's like, I love when these things just get a little bit deeper in our psyche and they just become who we are, but
Yes.
it's looking for the wisdom, being open to the wisdom. I think a lot of people are so busy blurting out their opinions that what's the other quote I love? Two monologues don't make a dialogue.
Mm, well, that's true. That's true. You
We're
know,
having a dialogue. You're giving me good, information. I'm giving you good information, and we're feeding off this good energy versus both like just crashing into each other with our opinions.
it's a funny thing. I haven't had one interview where I felt like, why am I here with this woman? And that's a good thing because
Yeah,
you never know, you're sitting here and you're waiting for the person to pop up and they pop up and you're like, okay, let's see what that energy feels like.
yeah,
And I'm going to be just so transparent here. I don't know why I get like this, I get cold and then I get weirded out and then I'm like, okay, I'm waiting. Well, I know who I am. I know what I'm going to
yeah,
say. I know what I'm going to do. But what is she going to do? Is she going to shut me down? How
yeah.
am I going to handle this? And that's just who I am as a person because I want so much of give and take. I want to get that energy. I want to get that knowledge. I want to take something away and give something out too. So it's always, I won't say fear. I think it's more of curiosity
Okay.
and it makes you nervous if you're going to get what you want. I don't know if you feel that way when you go
Has
on.
anyone ever shut you down? I somehow doubt it.
Oh, people have shut me down. Trust me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's just really it's been a humbling experience
Yeah.
doing this podcast. I had one before, which was called From Execution to Excellence, which I absolutely loved, and I brought that one out because I lost my best friend, and she
Sorry.
gave me a voice to speak because I needed to speak about what I was feeling. And I never really thought I ever had that. I always felt like I could speak in front of people because I was never
Yeah.
afraid, but to speak in front of people, that is. But that incident and holding someone until they take their last breath
Mm,
was, it shook me, and I wasn't a, teenager. I was a full grown woman experiencing something and then denial with it.
mm,
Even up until the moment they took their last breath, I
right.
did not believe it was going to happen. So that shook me and that brought something out of me. And I said to myself, you know what? I will never not speak about what's going on in my life and what's going on, period. So when I'm doing podcasts and I'm speaking to people, I'm always not, I'm being my genuine self the whole entire time because I want you to get me. And, if you like me, let's have a drink, girl.
Right.
This is the
Exactly.
show. Listen, this is the show you're going to come on where there's no holding back.
Yeah.
We're all corporate people. I deal with people from all walks of life, all types of, economic backgrounds and lots of money and not a lot of money. They get the same thing, all of them across the board. And I think that's only fair to each human being. that
Just the
we do.
fact that you're doing the podcast is a huge testament to who you are, that you're willing to, put it out there and talk about things that not everybody's talking about and,
Well,
have these deeper conversations. I mean, I was so excited when I read these questions. I was like, oh my God, these are amazing.
thank
So
you.
it just shows your thought process and the willingness to where, I think the thing that holds most people back is the fear. Like, what if someone doesn't like me? What if they shut me down? But then people don't go at all. You're still going for it. You might get the chills, but you're like not
Yeah.
letting it stop you.
No way, no way, no way. It might be
Yeah.
cold in here too, but no, it's not. Oh my God, it's been such a pleasure having you on today, Michelle.
I
Is there
love this.
anything you want to leave us with? Some great takeaways?
Really, I always tell people you have more power than you think, always. And you always have a choice. You're never stuck. You're just in a place that you can take a step forward. So, please look for me at energizeyourresults.com, connect with me, and just Buy Happiness is a Habit. It's still on ranking on Amazon. It came out about 10 years ago, but just so helpful. And just again, it's not about my story or Jane's story. It's about your story. It's about what are you
Right.
going to do to move yourself forward so that you feel good and you're happy with your results.
And listen to Miley Cyrus because you can buy your own
Yes.
flowers, girl.
Yes, you can.
I love that. I love that. It's so good to have had you on the show. I hope you come back.
Yes.
Um, I hope you come to New York City. I'm in New
I
York
am
City.
definitely coming. I'm on Long Island, so I'm not very far from you.
Oh, please just call me and let me know. I'm
Yeah.
going to give you my information. Guys, it's been wonderful having you back here on another episode of Unpack Your Life. And it looks like I'm getting more gray, but I'll take care of that later. That's the vanity in us. But we'll see you again. And you know where to find us: Spotify, Anchor. I always say that. I don't know why. I think they merged. Apple. That's where we are. Unpack Your Life, and we'll see you on another great episode. Till then, check us out.